On Boxing After Dark, you'll see the rematch between 130-pound champion Arturo Gatti and former champion Tracy Patterson. Their first meeting was the most memorable brawl of 1995. Also, check out Angel Manfredy, nicknamed El Diablo, as he takes on the man who had Arturo Gatti in so much trouble in New York last March, Wilson Rodriguez. Two 130-pound battles of great significance, as on a weird weekend of weather in Atlantic City, we bring you in from the boardwalk. What's your sign? Let's get ready for another great night of Boxing After Dark. All the vital elements are being put into place for this doubleheader. And in the crowd, a variety of noteworthy boxing faces, identifiable either via their jewelry or via the glasses that betray their middle age. So let's get ready to powder our faces and get all the cosmetic niceties in place for another edition of the most competitive series of boxing matches to be found anywhere in television, HBO's Boxing After Dark. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. In just a little bit more than a year, you have observed the tradition of Boxing After Dark. Competitive matches in which either man can win. Once again tonight, that's the case as we bring you two pick'em fights at 130 pounds. Angel Manfredy against Wilson Rodriguez. The winner of that fight will be hoping to get a shot at a winner of the main event between Tracy Patterson and Arturo Gatti. Gatti lifted Patterson's 130-pound title with a very close unanimous decision in Madison Square Garden in December of 1995. Patterson is looking for revenge tonight. Working with me, as always, on HBO's Boxing After Dark, our boxing analyst, Larry Merchant. Larry, we've covered Arturo Gatti twice before. Both of those fights were spectacular in their way. What is it about the fighter, Arturo Gatti, that is so spectacular?
You've heard of drama queens, Jim. He's a drama prince. Part of it has to do with his youthful look. People just naturally come up to him and call him kid. And part of it has to do with his vulnerability. In that amazing fight in which he came from behind to score a knockout over Wilson Rodriguez a year ago, with both of his vulnerable eyes closed, he made us all feel that we were in a movie. Over the years, I've said on a very few occasions, it doesn't get any better than this. He showed that it did. And whatever happens in the rest of his career starting tonight, Jim, he left us with a memory that few of us will ever forget.
Yeah, if you saw Arturo Gatti against Wilson Rodriguez, as Larry suggests, you would never forget it unless we get a first or a second round knockout in the first fight tonight between Wilson Rodriguez and Angel Manfredy. We'll be showing you a look back briefly at that battle. Meanwhile, Manfredy himself came into the ring just moments ago, and we want to show you a look at the unusual getup that Angel Manfredy, son of a steel worker from Gary, Indiana, brings into the ring, complete with full-length red stockings that he keeps on throughout the bout. First name is Angel. He has Puerto Rican heritage, but as he says, when I get into the ring, I am El Diablo. I become the devil, and this outfit is designed either to elicit fear or perhaps laughter from the opponent. Also working with us, as always, on HBO's Boxing After Dark, even as he gets ready to defend his 175-pound world title March 21 against Montel Griffin, the great Roy Jones Jr. And Roy, we talked about what happened with Wilson Rodriguez, who was ahead of Arturo Gatti until he began to get in trouble against Gatti's power shots, but he had closed both of Gatti's eyes and probably thought in his heart that he was headed toward becoming a champion. He says he almost retired after that. Is that memory going to be good because it motivates him to do better, or bad because it leaves a bad taste in his mouth?
Well, it can work both ways, Jim. A, it should be good because he got in the ring with a guy who he really wasn't supposed to be able to beat. He had this guy, everything was going his way, then all of a sudden, bam, he got caught with a good shot, and down he went. His whole dream went out the window. But he can use that as a positive. He can come back tonight and think, hey, I've already faced the best fighter in this division, possibly. Why should I be afraid of anyone else?
Wilson Rodriguez, more of a boxer than Manfredy for sure. He'll be hoping to outbox Manfredy, the brawler, tonight. And here's a look at Rodriguez. As you can see, 55 professional fights. Born in the Dominican Republic, he's lived most of his adult life in Spain, and most of those 44 wins were against relatively obscure opponents in European locales, but he proved his worth in the first couple of rounds against Gatti. And Angel Manfredy, as I mentioned, son of a steel worker from Gary, Indiana, He got in tough in his first couple of professional bouts and wound up with 2 losses and a draw in the first 6 outings. But since then, 16 consecutive wins and 16 knockouts in 19 victories, as you can see. Angel Manfredy has KO'd 11 of his last 12 opponents. Tail of the tape for Angel Manfredy and Wilson Rodriguez, and you'll see the 5-inch reach advantage, 2-inch height advantage that Rodriguez enjoys against his opponent, who is 8 years younger. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer and late-night cult item, Harold Letterman.
The Angel Manfredy Wilson Rodriguez fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, Harold, and now let's get our second look of the evening at ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bally's Park Place, Atlantic City, where tonight, main events in association with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Present a Boxing World Championship doubleheader. All the bouts are sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr. The first contest presented along with Cedric Kushner Promotions and sanctioned by the World Boxing Union, President John Robinson, Supervisor Jennifer Robinson. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Burton Gilliam, Paul Herman, and Melvina Lathan. And when the bell rings, your man in charge of the action, referee Wayne Hedgepeth. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBU Junior Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, in the red corner, wearing black and yellow and weighing 129 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 43 victories, 24 by knockout, with 8 losses and 1 draw. From Madrid, España, introducing the challenger, Wilson Rodriguez. And across the ring in the blue corner, wearing red and white, weighing 130 pounds, he brings a professional record of 19 victories, 15 by knockout with 2 defeats and 1 draw. From Gary, Indiana, presenting the WBU Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Angel Diablo Manfredy.
Let's go. They call him Angel, but he's fighting like the devil.
Roberto Duran against Irish Pat Lawler. Let's take a look right now at the tail of the tape. Duran turns 40 in June, 12 years older than Lawler. A 2-inch height advantage for Lawler. Duran in good shape at 168, 7 pounds heavier than Lawler, and a slight reach advantage for Lawler. To the rules, 10-point must system in effect. 3 judges scoring the fight, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and the fighter can not be saved by the bell except in the final round. Duran Lawler, super middleweight, scheduled for 10. Let's throw it to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the beautiful Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we have a spectacular night of action coming your way, and it's all brought to you by Don King Productions, Murad 3M Promotions, and the Mirage, along with Budweiser, the king of beers. Introducing the officials for our next bout, the judges at ringside, Art Lurie, Paul Smith, Al Siciliano. And the referee in charge, he will be giving instructions, Vic Draculich. All right, fans, here we go. This first bout this evening is a super middleweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing green trunks with white trim, he is fighting out of San Francisco, California. His weight this evening is a ready 161 pounds. His very fine record, 14 victories, only 1 defeat, 4 wins by way of knockout. Welcome a fighter they call Irish Pat Lawler. And his opponent across the ring. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, he enters the ring wearing white trunks with green and black trim. Hailing from Panama City, Panama, his weight this evening 168 pounds. With a veteran record of 86 victories, 8 losses, 60 big wins by way of knockout. He is the former 4-time world champion. He's known as Hands of Stone, presentando Manos de Piedra, Roberto Duran. Here's your referee in charge. Give instructions, Vic Draculich.
Chief Seconds. All right, gentlemen, you received your instructions in the dressing room. Are there any questions? Any questions from the Chief Seconds? Remember, obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now, let's get to it. All right, we are getting set for Irish Pat Lawler and Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, his last fight right here, December 7th, 1989 at the Mirage, when he lost the decision to Sugar Ray Leonard for the WBC Super Middleweight title. To put this matchup in perspective age-wise, Lawler was 4 years old when Duran turned pro in 1967. When Lawler became an amateur in 1983, Duran already had 80 professional fights under his belt. Duran has been involved in more championship fights, 21, than Lawler has fights, 15. But Lawler says the experience factor of Roberto Duran does not faze him in the least. He says the pressure's on Duran because he's got the more fights.
Well, of course, that's about the only thing you can say. Not bad for a man who has multiple choices. He's also studying to be a real estate agent if things don't work out in the ring, if he loses his political career. So he's a man that can really talk. And right now, he's holding his own with Roberto Duran, who is just content to feel out this young kid, Lawler. He's not showing too much respect for Duran. Not throwing much, but certainly not looking scared or apprehensive.
Lawler, a very engaging young man with a tremendous gift for gab, studying real estate and also pursuing a career in politics. The question is, which is less dangerous, boxing or politics? Irish Pat Lawler, unranked, goes 5'9 and a half, 161. He's 14-1 with 4 knockouts. The 39-year-old Roberto Duran, 86-8 with 60 knockouts, rated number 9 by the WBA, and of course the former 4-time world champion.
Age starting to catch up with Roberto Duran. There's no question about it that he doesn't have the speed nor the ferocity of the older and or rather younger Duran. He didn't come out to take command. He's just letting this kid just peck away. Few punches that have been landed have been by Lawler. Therefore, he is technically winning this round.
A very blustery night here in the desert of Las Vegas at the Mirage.
Temperature is dropping, and of course, for a guy like Duran, an older guy, that's bad news. I mean, he starts out a little warm, and all of a sudden this cold breeze is blowing off the desert. These old bones are going to start freezing up on Duran.
Duran comes off a split of a couple of fights in 1989. He decisioned Iran Barkley to win the WBC middleweight title, lost that due to inactivity. Then here at the Mirage, fought for the WBC super middleweight crown and lost the decision to Sugar Ray Leonard on a very cold night. Remember that night when he came in wearing a blanket and a hat? It's a little warmer here this evening.
That was one of the most boring nights I've ever spent in boxing. I think that was one of the most shameful nights to have both men not put on any kind of a performance whatsoever. Right now, Duran is starting to pick up the pressure, but he's eating jabs, ineffective as they are.
And round 1 is history. And you hear the reaction from the crowd. A feeling out process that the crowd was not too keen on.
Sí. Pásale el golpe. ¿Sabes? Ahí momento.
Vamos, me estamos echando. Eso no pasa mucha vez.
La más segura que el jab marca, ¿sabes?
Sí.
Durant saying to his corner, his left hand is bothering me. He keeps repeating, his left hand is bothering him. I don't know what he threw it. I mean, he barely threw a punch. He barely hit anything.
Yeah, it's going to move a while.
He looks worried.
Come on, go. Round 2. It is scheduled for 10. Roberto Duran, according to Ferdy, of course, they were speaking Spanish, complaining about the left hand.
He just kept saying it over and over again. My left hand's hurting. I don't know what he punched. He didn't hit anything with it. On the other hand, Lawler, however slow that round was, won the round because he was doing the pecking and pawing there, whereas Duran was just doing the chasing. As you see now, he's trying to get that right hand in because the left obviously is bothering him. Look at that pawing jab that he's throwing out there. That has no force to it. You can't control with that kind of a jab.
Lawler says he doesn't really have a game plan going in, adapts to his opponent, but with Duran, he'll look to move more side to side and avoid the corners.
Right now, you better avoid the right hand because that appears to be the only weapon that Duran serves. Nice shot by Lawler.
A snappy right by Pat Lawler, who is moving side to side and is up on his toes. They do have an interesting common opponent, Ferdy, former world champion Wilfredo Benitez. Lawler's last fight, a decision over Benitez, but a weathered through-the-mill Benitez. Benitez beat Duran back in 1982, but that, of course, was a very different Benitez.
And that's why you can throw out these comparisons almost immediately. If you looked at both of them, you would, without knowing that, you would say, oh boy, this kid's really in tough here. And actually, that's a meaningless statistic. Right now, he's got a guy that doesn't look real sharp. Roberto Duran doesn't look real sharp. We may be in for another one of those evenings where a legend cannot hold his own against a young, aggressive kid. Oh, another right hand. Another good right hand by Lawler. I mean, I can't remember when anybody could land a straight right hand like that on Duran.
Duran being caught looking slow.
Oh, shades of Leonard Norris in the Garden. If the corner of Lawler sees what I see, he's going to, and speeds him up, he can be landing punches with rapidity, and Roberto Duran will be blowing these rounds one by one.
Now, I don't know if Pat Lawler came into this fight just thinking that, hey, someday I can tell my grandchildren that I fought the legend Roberto Duran. Right now, he must feel that he has an opportunity to beat Roberto Duran. Duran, of course, seeking to become the first Latin fighter to win 5 world titles in as many weight classes, but at this rate, he may be looking for a new career.
Yeah, he's stumbling here. It's only the second round, but remember, just take a look at that left hand. He's not using it. Just keep looking at Duran's left. He doesn't throw it hard. He just jabs with it, and the jab is like just pawing out. He's hoping he doesn't hit anything with his, what it looks like he's looking for that right hand. There it went.
Final seconds, round 2.
And again, Lawler steals around.
Well, the crowd continues to boo. Through 4 decades, the many faces of Roberto Duran, a career that began in 1967 at age 15 when he started as a bantamweight. His first world title came in the 70s as a lightweight. The 80s highlighted by the 2 fights with Sugar Ray Leonard. The brawl for it all won by Duran. No muss when Duran quit in the 8th. The lackluster loss Ferdy was referring to Leonard here at the Mirage closed out the last decade. Tonight, Roberto Duran ventures into the 90s.
Take a look at these little right hands. Now, when do you think you'd ever see Duran get hit by a right hand like that, especially a kid with a few fights as Lawler's got? Let's take another look, and you can see how Roberto just doesn't react. It's just not a good reaction on his part.
Round 3 scheduled for 10. A very confident Irish Pat Lawler, who is also part Italian, but he said Irish-Italian Pat Lawler is just too long a nickname. So he stuck to Irish Pat from the Sunset District of San Francisco, Irish Catholic area. Talking about Roberto Duran of the 4 decades. Let's see, Ferdy, by the year 2000, he'll only be 49. Do I hear 5 decades?
If this is the Duran, again, a stiff jab that's catching Duran. Well, we're going to have to peek into Lawler's corner and see if they're aware of the fact that Duran is ineffective with the left. There was a rumor floating around that he hurt his right shoulder. Duran, if that's the case, boy, that's a race car without any wheels on it.
Now, Pat Lawler not only soliciting for votes because he wants to run for mayor of San Francisco, but he's also advertising a San Francisco FM rock station on the back of his trunks, KFOG, K-F-O-G. Well, the man is a walking billboard.
Yeah. He got hurt. He got hit by the first good punch that Duran has thrown. Duran is going to have to just decide to take the pain in the left hand and start using it. I mean, he's certainly a brave and valiant fighter. As you get older, you get a little bit more leery of hurting your hand on a permanent basis. So this may be playing the game. Again, keep your eye on his left hand.
Duran, who checked in at 168, but looks flabby.
And he got butted, and he gave one of those. Listen, you don't want to hit me with your head, do you?
A lot of movement by Lawler, looking for the right moment.
I just can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe that Roberto Duran has thrown out a jab that's missing by 6 inches unless it's his intention to miss by 6 inches. Look at that. Just a pawn. Just to try to set up the right. Again, the right, no follow-up with the left. Now, Roberto's known for punching in bunches. If he catches you with the right, then you can expect a zinging left hook to follow. Nothing follows.
It has been a rather uneventful fight in terms of Roberto Duran at this point. Duran, who turns 40 in June.
Watch the kidney punches.
Watch the kidney punches, says the referee, Vic Draculich, to Roberto Duran. That right by Lawler missed. As we head for the bell.
First decent round for Duran, and I'm not sure he won that one. Let's go to Duran's corner and see what's happening.
Respira. Bota. Respira. Bota. Yo he notado que si tú calientas, se te va esa vaina, porque ya te he estado viendo un poco bien ahora. ¿Me entiendes? Así, sí, boxeable para conectar. ¿Me entiendes? Para tan siquiera llevarnos la decisión, por si acaso. Boxeable para conectar.
He is saying box him so you can connect. Forget about the hand. Let's go to a decision if we have to go to a decision. Box him to connect. Let's listen to Lawler. Well, that was a wrong moment.
You're looking good, Pat. You're looking good.
That was a world-class belt you just heard in the corner. Lawler's a man of many sides.
I thought that was you. Round 4 scheduled for 10. Impeccable timing on the part of the wannabe mayor of San Francisco, Irish Pat Lawler.
Well, Lawler looks very fresh. He looks like he's having a very good time.
Little bolo movement there by Lawler. He can't get too cute, though.
No.
Now he's backing Duran into his own corner. Let's see what happens here.
Duran's just looking for the right hand. He's not looking to do anything with the left. He's backing himself in the corner, trying to set a trap for the right hand without following with the left. Again, Lawler connecting. Not big, but there's points connected there.
A combination by Pat Lawler. They're just pawing away here in round 4.
Some scattered boos. People expect Roberto of the other decades, not Roberto of the 90s.
The biggest action of the fight right there, but not much impact. Again, Lawler just dancing around on his toes against a flat-footed Duran.
Come on, let's go.
These two were involved in an exhibition a couple of years ago in the Bay Area. So they have met each other before. It didn't count then.
Let's go, come on.
Another strong jab by Lawler. Those jabs are popping the head of Duran back. Duran not even trying to block him or slip him. That's a sign of old reflexes.
Come on.
The brain sees it coming, but can't get the message down fast enough.
Duran, 39 years old. Meanwhile, Pat Lawler didn't begin boxing until he was 19. Duran turned pro at 15 when Lawler was 4 back in 1967. Apparently, though, the fact that Lawler is fighting a legend, big miss there by Duran, doesn't seem to be affecting Lawler.
He looks like he's having a good time. He smiled at that big right-hand miss of Duran's. If he could get the idea that Duran is basically fighting a one-arm fight, and he could start circling away from that right hand, then boy, the whole fight would be his for the taking.
I can even detect a smile by Lawler. Lawler landed with a right to the head of Duran.
And Duran seemed to get caught up on that ring tape there, and if he did indeed have some kind of a bother to his right shoulder, that certainly didn't feel good. Again, he gets hit. Duran again hit by a jab.
A crunching shot by Pat Lawler that connected.
Another right hand by Lawler. If Lawler's got a little Irish in him to get...
Big right hand on the bell by Pat Lawler. Just as the bell sounded, Pat Lawler unleashing a heavy right on Roberto Duran.
All you have to do is keep your hand on his face.
This is the end of the fourth round, and let's listen.
You're looping everything, see? And you're missing it because he works a lot, you know? Move around.
That was simultaneously almost with a bell, but it did land, and it certainly was point building. He has taken 3 out of 4 rounds on my card quite unofficially. He is ahead 39-37. Is Pat Lawler. He's giving him too much respect. His corner said too much respect. You got to combine those punches. Why aren't you throwing his hand, your left hand? And Roberto just shook his head.
Round 5 scheduled for 10. Irish Pat Lawler in the green trunks showing no respect for the veteran Roberto Duran.
Well, at this point, if Lawler can get the picture that all he has to do is stay active and outspeed Duran, he's got an easy decision here. But of course, Duran is a legend. He goes all the way to the end. He can knock you out a minute before the last bell sounds with that right hand. This is almost a replay of what happened with Sugar Ray Leonard and Terry Norris. Another good gongy right hand, exactly what happened in the Garden. And Norris in the Garden was so careful of Leonard that he didn't knock him out, although he put him down twice. Let's see if Lawler has the same kind of patience, or if he decides to just go all out for a knockout.
Well, in 15 professional bouts, Lawler has but 4 knockouts. Wouldn't it be something if number 5 came against Roberto Duran?
I would not believe it's possible unless you saw it. It might be a technical knockout, or it might be a stoppage in the corner, but I could not see him with his lack of punching power starching Roberto Duran.
There's a snappy left by Lawler that connected. Duran is getting tagged.
Getting tagged and getting tagged clean. That was a nice right hand by Duran. The first good one that landed, but it didn't land with a great effect. Didn't even shake up Lawler at all.
There's a little trickle of blood under the right eye of Roberto Duran. And Duran missing with the right.
Well, what a night Duran picked to hurt his left hand, because he is strictly a one-handed fighter here. This crowd not quite believing what they're seeing, scattering of boos with every round as if expecting something much better from this legend and not getting it.
Roberto Duran beginning his 4th decade of boxing. Will it be the final fight for Roberto Duran?
Big lump under the right eye of Roberto Duran, starting to break open. A little trickle of blood coming out. Lawler unmarked and has no reason to be marked. He has hardly been hit. The jab continues to land flush on the right.
There's a right by Duran, but it didn't have much impact. Lawler comes away smiling.
As these rounds while away and these punches land, Lawler's got to build up a tremendous amount of confidence.
Lawler showing a lot of patience.
If he wins here, do you think he'd have a chance of being mayor of San Francisco?
He may go on to governor of California. Roberto Duran could probably run for a mayor of Panama City. Well, certain years anyway. And that is it for round 5.
Empieza a conectarse ya, bro. ¿Entiendes? Nada más que aunque lo toque nada más.
He said even if you touch him with a jab, but throw it. Touch it and then set up your right hand.
Tiene que tirártelo encima. ¿Entiendes? Ya estamos.
Okay. The low blow that you'll see in a moment is the kind of stuff that's roughing up. See that low blow right there? That's kind of lack of respect and discombobulating Duran. He's getting manhandled. He's getting punched. He's getting punched after the bell. He's getting hit under the belt. No respect is what he's getting tonight.
Round 6 scheduled for 10, and I did not see a caution by referee Vic Draculich off that low blow.
In all truthfulness, it didn't look like it was that effective. It was low, but it didn't look like a hard body shot. Can't get over the feeling that Lawler is having just a wonderful time here. I mean, it's like a delayed reaction to St. Patrick's Day. He's just having a great time.
Lawler was going through the press room throughout the days leading up to this fight and shaking everybody's hand and campaigning and wishing everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day. But he is certainly having his way here. There's a good left jab by Pat Lawler. Irish Pat Lawler, only his 16th pro fight against Roberto Duran, who is 86-8. Youth against experience, but Lawler not at all being intimidated by Duran.
And out-slicking and out-speeding Roberto Duran. Duran stalking, a one-handed type of stalking. He's trying to land that right hand and just barely setting him up with a jab that doesn't land.
Lawler says, I might not have the power to knock Duran out, but it will definitely go the distance, and I feel that I can outbox him. Well, so far, he's living up to his word.
His jab is landing and a right hand strong against Duran. Remember, Duran's got one of the great jaws ever seen in boxing. One of the chins of iron. I mean, to go with those hands of stone. And a great deal of heart. The heart only in question once. Oh, he hurt his arm. That's it. That's it. That's it. He can't fight anymore. That's going to be it. That is it. That's the left arm. Here comes the doctor, Skip Omansky, and he is not going to flip. Omansky is not going to let this continue. Timeout. What's he going to do? Pull it back in place? And he got hit right on the shoulder. It was already hurting.
I need a translator. Come up here.
We're hearing that he needs a translator.
Purdy, you should go help him.
If he cannot lift it now, it's over.
Dice que si se terminó esto, si no puede, así que dale, Vector. Tú le ganas con la derecha, Vector.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
It is all over.
It could go.
Irish Pat Lawler
No.
with a technical knockout against Roberto Duran. And Roberto Duran arguing with the doctor.
We'll make a rematch.
Flip Pomansky says, I'm sorry. I heard somebody say, make a rematch. I think that was Lawler.
Yeah. The actual happening is he got hurt. I don't think he can continue anyway. This is a little bit of drama that makes it look good, but the fact of the matter is that he can't continue. If he continued, then it would be more of the same.
Why are you stopping the fight, says Duran?
No.
Nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to him. What's wrong with you?
So we begin the night with controversy.
Well, once again, age. You just can't beat Father Time. He was looking terrible. He was fighting a one-arm fight. In all fairness to Roberto Duran, this didn't look like anything like the Roberto Duran of the last 3 decades. Maybe the weight loss is too much. Maybe he did hurt his hand, but he certainly hurt his shoulder just then. He had a hurt hand and a hurt shoulder. I don't know why he wants to continue anymore, except for the drama that goes on with a macho kind of guy that doesn't want to quit.
Rematch for sure, Roberto. The words of the Pat Lawler camp. Unranked Irish Pat Lawler stopping former 4-time world champion Roberto Duran. We're going to take a look at the end of the 6th round. We're going to look and listen and see exactly what happened. Check it out.
I love y'all.
Now that punch was right on his shoulder. Did you see that? It's almost as if he has a shot of nerve. You know, when you pull your nerve and your whole arm goes numb, that's what it looks like has happened to him. Now they asked him if he continued, if he could lift his arm. They had said no. If we can catch that again on the mic, we will see what happened. But I think the doctor was entirely correct in stopping him to begin with. He's way behind.
Jimmy Lennon has the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time 1 minute 50 seconds in round number 6. The referee in charge, Vic Draculich, stopping the contest on advice of the ringside physician due to damage to Roberto Duran's shoulder. Therefore, the winner by way of technical knockout, Irish Pat Lawler.
So there he is, Irish Pat Lawler from San Francisco, scoring a 6th-round technical knockout over an injured Roberto Duran, who is still steaming over the fact that the fight was stopped.
But he's still holding his arm.
Sure.
The fact remains that he's still showing every indication that that arm is hurt, that he's not comfortable with it, that he's in pain. He's holding the arm. So behind on points, really being outboxed. And I really don't think that he has an objection in the world. Once again, an old fighter against a young kid. The young kid wins.
So a very content Irish Pat Lawler comes up with obviously the biggest victory of his career.
let's go up to Larry Merchant in the ring with Angel.
All right, Angel, congratulations. Tough, hard-fought victory. What put you ahead? How did you control him through the early rounds?
Well, this is how it goes. First, I'd like to thank the Lord. I'd like to thank HBO, After Dark, for putting me here. I'd like to thank Lou DeVella. I'd like to thank Cedric Kushner. I'd like to thank WBU. Well, mainly, you know, hey, I took my time. I got a lot of experience, you know, just because I'm 22. Like I said, I got a lot of experience. And when he caught me with that, when he dropped me, my legs twisted. So he caught me off balance, but I was not hurt. I was mentally there. It was a good shot, though.
Is he the best fighter you fought?
Well, I say he was a good fighter, very good fighter. He took some blows. I cut him up real bad. They should have stopped the fight. Those cuts were deep. But he was a very hard and tough fighter.
Give us your thoughts on the Gatti-Patterson fight and your thoughts about fighting the winner.
Well, you know, hey, I'm a champion. Like I said, I fight all over the world, not just United States, all over the world. I am ready for anybody now. Gatti-Patterson, whoever wants to come forward and challenge Angel Manfredy, come forward. The Lord put me here, and the Lord's protecting me. Ain't nobody gonna stop me, baby.
All right. Thanks for telling us what you think. Jim, everybody's got a belt.
So Angel Manfredy gets what he came here for, the recognition that goes with his unanimous decision victory over Wilson Rodriguez. He showed his susceptibility to the mistake when he got decked by Rodriguez on that right hand in the 10th. Other than that, completely in control of the fight. Would he be ready for someone of the class of Arturo Gatti or Tracy Patterson?
I think indeed he would. He's a very strong fighter. He showed poise, he showed a lot of confidence, and he showed a lot of patience. I think that is the main thing that young fighters have to be able to overcome. There are going to be some guys that you just cannot knock out.
Given his style, who would Manfredy stand a better chance against? A slugger like Gatti or a skilled boxer-puncher like Tracy Patterson?
Woo.
Woo.
Hard to decide.
A lot of people want to see him against Gatti because we know how exciting a fight like that would be.
I don't know, though. Patterson is not a guy who will back down from someone who puts a lot of power shots on him. When a guy hits Patterson hard, Patterson also becomes a banger.
All right.
And he can bang.
Yeah, he can bang. You're right. We'll see more of Tracy Patterson when we get ready for the main event in just a moment. Larry, before we go to that, your observations about Angel Manfredy.
He's a fighter. Whatever he looks like, he's a fighter, and he belongs in this class of competition, and I could see him fighting and doing well against either of the fellows in our main event.
All right. So let's turn our attention now to the main event. They met for the first time in December 1995 in the big room at Madison Square Garden.